To deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answers to the human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2-hour safe haven for your questions and spirit's answers, and you can transform your life. Right now on WHFS in Tampa and WWNN in South Florida, Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2 hours, listen and call in toll-free, 888-565-1470, 888-565-1470, and watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and share love and light.
Shines down upon me, and there's a light that brightens up my day. There's a light leading the way. Oh, there's a light. There's a light, there's a light that opens doors for everyone. Oh, there's a light that touches hearts. There's a light to open everyone to love. Love may hold the answer we are looking for. Love may open up another door of light. Oh, there's a light. Oh, there's a light. Open up in everyone. Can you feel it? There's a light to change the world. Won't you be a part of the light? Oh, love, it is the answer now, and we can see love grow. There's a light, there's a light that shines inside of me. Oh, there's a light, oh, there's a light that shines inside of you. There Yes, indeed. There's a light right here on WHFS 1010 AM 92.1 and 103.1. And you're also listening to us on WWNN 1470 AM 95.3 and 96.9. We are answering your questions. What questions, you may ask? Life's questions. Where are we in this new beginning of a new year of 2022 or 2020 part 3? Who knows? But here we are, all joining together, navigating life. And what's new, pussycat? Meow, meow, meow. It's a new time for us, and we have to look at the energies and what's around each one of us and how it assists us on the path. Because each one of us is on a journey. Interestingly enough, some of us feel like we're in a maze going round and round, and it's just an organization of tunnels and lines that create some confusion and misunderstandings. And speaking of misunderstandings, there's that thing called Mercury retrograde. Here we go. Oops, it does it again. We've got our Mercury retrograde coming back, and that starts this weekend. That's when communication gets a little screwy. And we're going to have some crisscrosses in verbiage, crisscrosses in directions. Be careful, be aware when you're out and about. Do you know where you're going? Are you paying attention to what's going on in the road? We're coming off of such a tremendously busy time, and also a time where, well, some of us are just tired. We just want things to feel different. I know you can relate. Many of you have expressed that you are just over all this. But life is going to present new opportunities for you, new adventures. And even though we've got this underlying story that seems to keep circulating, causing cause for concern, causing some fear, causing inconveniences, kind of cramping our style, and also impacting people's lives physically, emotionally, financially, even spiritually. I've heard all the stories, and it's been a rough go. But it's important to remember that every year, every day has a vibration. And it starts out new, regardless of the carryover story that seems to not want to let go of us just yet. How do you navigate that? How do you disconnect from a story that's going on that is impacting the world, impacting travel, impacting businesses, impacting families, and maybe impacting your personal health? I've heard more stories recently than I did in the very beginning, in the onset of this madness that we're in. But this vibration, that's a new year. It gives us hope. It gives us promise. It is a time where we can really stay grounded in our relationship with ourselves. And I know you've all seen enough of yourself, right? You didn't go anywhere, didn't talk to anybody, and like, what, Sarah Spiritual? Now you want me to get to know myself even more? You're a little sick of yourself. But this is of a different nature. This is a sense, a feeling of owning your own self-love and believing in yourself and forming healthy relationships with yourself and with others. It's interesting how critical we can be of ourselves. And I would say this year I've said that to so many people. Why are you so critical on yourself? Why are you so difficult with yourself? Why are you not giving yourself a break? Given whatever their story was, whatever they had passed through. And why are we holding on to the past like a bundle of rocks, tripping us as we try to move forward? Why do we keep reminding ourselves of all the things we didn't do right or haven't gone right or aren't working out? Why are we constantly talking about what's wrong in the world? It's not going to change the world by talking about what's wrong. Change begins with each individual. And then sending the energy and working with the people who can influence change. I'm talking about what's wrong with a particular party or a particular way of handling a situation creates more angst around you, more angst within, and separates you from the divine. The divine is very aware of what isn't working. But there's a bigger plan, and that's where we as humans lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in the the details, the devil's in the details of what's not working right, and all the things that haven't been in order for us to have. And we hang up on the excuse of what's not there in order for us to accomplish. And we block our own individual growth. The key to creating, the key to these relationships with this new life that we want to have. Forget the new world, the new norm. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your own experiences, your newness. It's a new year. Last week, when we were on the show, we talked to our friend Stacey Haller, the astrologer. And she and I were discussing how a new year is a mark in the calendar. Really doesn't get going until we get into the solstice, the springtime, this newness. Well, because mankind put it on a calendar and January 1st is the date that we pick. We all gather around. But what a new year of 2022 represents is, first of all, a very magical time. And great magical things can happen for you. But you have to be willing to let go of the imbalances and the injustices that have led up to where we are now in your own personal life and collectively. We have to not ignore, not look behind and excuse bad behavior, but we can't keep bringing it to our new story. And your new story is about your relationship with yourself, holding a vision of what you want to create. Your life is a blank canvas, and each year holds a frequency of vibration, a number, 2022. Last year was 2021. 2020, well, that's a time of imbalances, right? That's when this all started. But if you look at 2020 and you add up the two twos, they come up to a 4. Poor little 4 stands on one little stick and tries to hold its balance up. Have you ever tried to stand on one leg and put the other leg up against the one that's standing and hold your balance? How long can you do that? Well, if you're doing your core strengthening and your exercise, well, I'm sure you could hang in there for a while. But 2020 had to hang on through all sorts of craziness. And then we thought we would streamline into the flow of 2021, bringing us a 5. But this year's a good solid 6, a good solid feel of, well, the preciousness of you, your confidence, your self-care, and how you relate to others with kindness and compassion. Well, that seems to have evaded us lately, kindness and compassion. Where are we losing that? What has jaded everyone so much that they can't simply say hello to someone? That they don't feel this energy of relations and connections. This is a time when, if you ever wanted to make a change in your career, regardless of age, let's not lose ourselves in the conditioned beliefs, regardless of trained profession, this is the year where you can really dig down deep in your soul and become inspired in a way that you just love you. And that doesn't mean we become inspired and we lose sight of our family obligations and necessities. But there's a way to find that balance. There's a solidness to the energy that's here to support these changes and here to help you design your life and to let go of the old. Yes, I think we all have a sense that perhaps the 90s and the early 2000s, and those of you who were around in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, those times of change and fun, that might not come back in the same fashion. I think we have all been conditioned and seen enough to know that maybe there's a different feel to what the next 10 or 20 years may be like. So we're trying to get used to that feeling. But as a creator, as a spiritual being, as a soulful person, as someone who is looking to align with the divine, because the divine is knocking on your door, There used to be a song, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. It's time. Heaven is calling you. You are calling heaven. We want to feel that connection. We don't want to feel like all of this was for nothing. That all the sacrifices that you have made for your children and your grandchildren, for the generations, that all that you've sacrificed for your career or your college education, and now you have a student loan, everything that you have fought for, strived for, we don't want to feel that in one fell swoop, it could all be gone. But now we have to have a different relationship with those things. Those things can no longer be the outward expression of who we are. They have to represent the foundation of who we've come to be and our ability to manifest, not how we project to the outside world, our ability to manifest. You manifested your college degree, and you will manifest the way to pay for it. You manifested a healthy, happy home, and you overcame the obstacles of raising a family and standing beside each other and forming the bond of family and encouraging children and grandchildren to move on to a better world. Our great-great-grandparents, they paved the way for us. And we are carrying that light and that lineage forward. But now it's to do it from a soulful manner, not so much the warrior. Because the warrior has gotten us, well, angry and agitated. And we're ready to fight brother to brother, sister to sister. Where we're all created in the same divine light. And in the eyes of the heavens, we are all equal. And we each have our own unique talents, which is our key differential aspects that do separate us, but allow us to shine in our own light, no one light shining brighter so that it casts a shadow on another and another is insignificant. For each piece of us is a part of the whole. A whole picture that has most certainly been created over a span of time, centuries. And yes, here we find ourselves back in some similar times. If we go back in history, we see the repeat of disharmony between people, cities, states. We recognize the influence of government and the resistance. We see the disease similar to 1918. We become aware of the things that have repeated themselves. And in some ways, I guess we've come to recognize and maybe accept that history will repeat itself and things do have a pattern. And some things in their momentum that the collective consciousness isn't ready to let go of in this human experience for whatever reason. Collectively, we haven't grown or expanded enough. But you individually, you can pledge. This year you can pledge. Besides that New Year's resolution, which, how's that going? Besides that New Year's resolution that you made, you can pledge to be more aware, more quiet, still, just listening to the silence and hear and feel the whisper of God. And feel your own inner voice saying, I want more. Not because I want to upstage my neighbors or my friends, because greed and gluttony. I want more because I am worthy. I want to expand where I'm at. I want to feel the joy. I want to celebrate my light. And I want to share it in whatever capacity is unique to me. And if that puts me in the forefront, in the front, and I'm doing great, amazing things that impacts many, and that's my mission, I'm content. And if my own uniqueness is this light that shines from behind and lights the way for others, but subtly and gently, because I'm meant to do something that isn't always noticed or recognized, but I matter, I count. And that because I know I matter and I count and I know my worth and I know the love that I have for myself, and thus by loving myself, I love everyone. And I feel the empathy for everyone. Then I know that my light need not supersede another or be better, and it is no less significant than another's. Because indeed, I've come to be my own being, a being that's a part of a story that perhaps we don't know the ending, but there's a sense that we've all chosen to be here together. And groups of us will choose to band together, and hopefully not against the other. But like will attract like, and we will vibrate together, and some of us will create a movement of parenting and caring, perhaps schooling and assisting the youth. Others will feel the calling to assist the elderly. Some will feel the calling to be out more in the front, to lead others, or create a change in government, or perhaps something in religion. You see, each one of us is a messenger. Each one of us is a being who is here to learn and to grow, to share, and to experience things through the divine eye, the divine feeling, the divine love, the divine expression. And somewhere in this need to grow and be a bigger, better country, a bigger, better person, a more educated person, a more successful person, a more financially sound person, a more worldly person. You know, they say, if you're of the world, you're not of my Father. But then again, God is the one who gave us this beautiful world to enjoy. So fear not that you enjoy the benefits of being in the physical world and enjoying all that is available to you and that you can attain and is at your fingertips. But don't let that goal supersede your ability to find the light within and use that light as a significant shift within your own life and those around you. And use that light to see whatever area in your life may be appearing dark or grim or uncomfortable, unstable, maybe anxiety-ridden, maybe health may be afflicted. Wherever that dark patch is, use your light to shine on that and ask for guidance. If what you're doing hasn't worked thus far, by golly, change. Change something. We vow to change at the beginning of the year, but did you take a look at the things you need to change? Are there habits that you need to break? Is there an addiction to a food or a beverage or something else? Is there a need to push? Is there a need to be by yourself when you really need to be more out in the world, but that just means that you have to show up? There are days that all of us have to push to show up. Not everybody's always in a good mood. There's always a moment. But in the stillness, we can feel it. And as the world begins to ramp up energetically in the physical world, as they move the frequencies, amping up the sounds, amping up the 5G, everything that's going on in the world, it does affect you. It does impact your nervous system. It does impact your sleep. It does deplete you. This is why this year is about you, about your finding your soulful self, your love for self, your ability to remain solid in transitionary, turbulent times that may be going on externally. And in the midst of all of that, I know it sounds like a tall order, but don't lose sight of that dream. Don't lose sight of that goal for 2022 or that dream that's yet to be birthed. It has no expiration. There's no biological clock that's ticking on the dreams that are about to be birthed for you. So it's never too late to change. It's never too late to have, to enjoy, and to celebrate life. Even if things look a little bleak, there's always a light. That's why we start the show every week with There's a Light. And that light's within you. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. And then we're going to get back to all of you answering questions at 888-565-1470. I've got a feeling we're going to have some interesting conversations and some really interesting questions about what's new for you in 2022. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, right here on WHFS and live on WWNN. Stay with us, everyone. I'm Sarah Spiritual, and we will be right back.
Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know you know.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
We've got a feeling you'll want to listen to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. for insightful, intuitive messages on WHFS. Sarah Spiritual is a spiritual advisor and transformational coach who will assist you. Join Sarah Spiritual for a powerful hour of life's questions and Spirit's answers. I've got a feeling you'll love Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, 6 to 7 p.m. Wednesday. Got the feeling? Just call 888-565-1470.
You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
And we are back here live on WHFS 1010 AM 92.1 and 103.1. And you're also listening to us on WWNN 1470 AM 95.3 and 96.9. We're answering your questions right here on Sarah Spiritual, Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. That's a tongue twister. And we are sure glad to talk to you at 888-565-1470. Let's see where this time goes. We're going to be live straight through on WWNN till 8 o'clock tonight. And for my friends at WHFS, we're with you till 7, so we're really glad to be chatting. Let's go to our phone lines in Orlando. We've got Rachel on the line. Rachel, how are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing well. Good to connect with you. What's your burning question for us tonight?
So, for 2022, I just wanted to see what did you see for any love or relationships coming in this new year for me?
I see a lot of change that leads you to relationship, love, and connections, but I feel like there's some changes that have to be made. I feel like you've been kind of trying to clean house through 2020 and 2021. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Did we recently end something in the 2021 time? Because I feel like it's like clear the deck. We got to get some new people in here. We need choices, yes?
Yeah.
And when I look at the energy of love, when I first open up the month of January and February, March, when those energies come in, kind of feel like something's stagnant. And you might have heard from somebody from the past recently. Someone from the past recently pop up for you?
I reached out to them in December just to say Happy New Year. That's about it.
Okay. Well, that energy of the past is trying to pull you back. And we don't want to let that kind of suck us up. Because when I go back to 2004, 2005, this was a time of relationship, yes?
I think so, yeah. But not this relationship.
Yes, that I know. And this was an early forming of relationship. But that didn't really work out very well, the 2004-5 time, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And when I move you into the energy of what's to come, we want to have learned from our past relationship experiences because you've been left empty-handed and feeling lost after the conclusion of a relationship, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So when I look at this energy here and I look at love, I open up the doorway and I look at the month of April. Latter half of April, bringing us into May, that's when I feel like the energy's ready for love. You've been making some changes and preparing yourself to get ready for love.
Right.
Learning to let your guard down, trusting yourself a little bit more, making peace with past mistakes. But I also see an energy of change that also makes me feel as if we may move. Is there a thought or an idea we will move in 2022?
I don't have plans. I have my own house, so I don't. I mean, unless I move in with someone that I'm dating or in a relationship with, but
I see some movement around you. So there will be change. There will be a move. If the move is not related to your house, then it could be related to work. But there is some movement that happens. This sets you all up perfectly for what's to come in 2023, 2024, and 2025. And when I'm in the year of 2024, I shall say, that is when I see the time of union, commitment, and marriage. So this is a time of great grounds of energy that is putting you in the right place at the right time. So you're grounding into the path. And April begins to open up that energy to bring in love. So yes, there will be relationship coming for you.
okay. So when you said you saw the move, I was thinking like even today or trying to like switch jobs and stuff like that. So maybe that's what you see is me changing jobs.
It's
that's
like
what I was thinking I wanted to do.
You're done. It's changed.
Yeah.
Anything that's old, stagnant, it's just like you've got to throw out those your favorite high heels. You got to throw them out because it's just time for something new. Okay.
Right.
All right, Rachel. Is this your first time calling the show?
Yes, ma'am.
How did you hear about the show?
I follow you on Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for following us on Facebook. We greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to speaking with you again in the future and can't wait to hear when that wedding's going to be. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye. 888-565-1470. We're going to continue answering your calls right here on WHFS and on WWNN. And I'm going to go to Pompano. I've got Maria on the line. Maria, how are you?
Yes, hi, Sarah. I'm good. Thank you. Yourself?
Good. I'm doing really well. I'm really glad to connect with you. I want you to think about how can you grow, what can you change to make your life more expansive, more inclusive of all the things that you want your life to be. I don't want you to live in a narrow lane anymore. It's time for you to kind of expand your thoughts and be more creative with things, Maria. Maria, what's your question for me?
Well, that's what I wanted to know. It's been a very turbulent time in my life for the last 2 or 3 years. And I just wanted to know, what you see ahead for me in terms of love, work, health, family.
Okay.
What should I focus on in the next 2022 for me to be happy or happier?
Perfect. Happier, yes. So the very powerful time here for you is stepping into what makes you happy. And that's a journey of your soul. And I want you to look at how can you feel so comfortable with yourself? How do you feel more comfortable? You need to feel comfortable. I feel like you've been put in a box by people and you've been trying to kind of live by standards of other people and not being able to express yourself the way you want. And at times, the fact that you see truth and see that things are out of alignment with other people and that you don't know if you can express that to them has kind of caused you to kind of shut down. And when I look at the work that I see for you, I feel as if there's a work shift that comes for you in the summer of 2022. We're looking to advance our career and take on something new to add to our repertoire of work at this time.
I am. I'm actually here in the U.S. on a work visa. So I've been with the same company for 11 years. So I'm hoping to be able to get a sponsorship or move forward, with a promotion or
Perfect.
seeing what that can bring.
And that's going to be something that expands in this latter half of the year, starting in the summer. This is how I see the shift coming for you. And I also feel as if there's great relationship connection that is to be more defined. Is there a particular person that you wanted to ask me about?
Probably my current relationship now.
Yes.
Just want to know if you see anything for me and that person,
Yes.
future-wise.
I see here that it's going to be more defined, more clearly defined as to our roles and who we are for each other. What is that person's birthday?
July 9th, 1987.
So here we have someone who is really learning to get more creative in their experience of their work as well. Yes? Are they making some shifts and changes and moving up in their
Yes.
career? This
Yes,
is where their
they're
focus
looking.
is. Okay? They're moving themselves forward. And as I move them forward, I see them being able to feel more secure. Security is very important to them. They are very compassionate, passionate, but they are sensitive as well. So at times, I think both of you and your sensitivities don't know how to read each other correctly, and that causes
Yeah.
a disconnect. But there is great
Yeah.
connection and love here. It is not for us to be afraid of revealing who we are to each other. This is why we need to define the relationship a little more clearly so we know that we're both on the same page, and that is our intention to follow the path of being with each other so that we can have a better future moving forward. Right now, much on your plate, much to handle personally, as does he. So in this moment, getting both your lives in order and understanding that what I see is that you are going to work on your securing your position here for promotion here in the States in the summer. And he's going to be more creative and expand in his work where his focus is. And then the two of you are going to come together and then grow together as a couple. So patience is going to be key in this experience. I hope I've been of service to you, Maria. How did you find the show?
Yes, actually, my good friend Nancy always spoke to me about the show, and I've been wanting to call for months, and I haven't had the opportunity, so I'm glad I did. Thank you.
I'm so glad we welcome you. And Maria, we have a center in West Palm Beach. Pompano's not too far from West Palm, so you should pop on up and check out our center and all the beautiful things that we have there. Perhaps one day we can have a personal session in person.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Have
Bye
a
for
great
now.
evening.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
888-565-1470. We've got our friends on Facebook, our friends on YouTube, popping in their questions, and we're going to get to them when we come back as we take our commercial break right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah on WHFS and WWNN. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 888-565-1470. That's toll free. 888-565-1470.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 888-565-1470. Toll free, 888-565-1470. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
And we are back here live on WHFS and on WWNN, and we're answering your questions at 888-565-1470. And I've got to go back to the phone lines. And from Florida, we've got to go to New Jersey. I've got Elizabeth on the line. Elizabeth, how are you?
I'm fine, Sarah. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm going to tell you there's a new attitude, there's a new way, there's a new path, and the turbulence and the rocky roads of the past are clearing the way so you can begin again. Not because it's a new year, but because it's time that we wipe the slate clean and you really have a fresh feeling about life. Does that resonate with you?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Long and winding road. It's been long, right? And you're feeling kind of tired here. What's your question for me? Yes.
Well, I just lost my mother, buried her December 18th, and I miss her.
So, interestingly enough, and no one on the radio can't see this, but I just had, before I took your call, I wrote the word mother here. Okay, so we were talking, and Spirit was talking to me about your mom. So I already knew Mom was with you. Mom wants you to know that she's with you. But I've got there's something she was kind of showing me before I took your call, and I needed to just clarify this with you. I don't know if she's talking about yours or hers. I don't know. You having problems with your throat, or was your mother having problems with her throat before she passed, please?
My mom.
Yes. Okay. So
My mom.
on my paper here, I have mother and I have throat here. So she's making me aware of that, and that's the connection. I know it's a recent passing. So connection for me sometimes when it's recent isn't as strong, but I got to tell you, like your mom, she doesn't want to let you go. She's going. She's not going to hang out. She's not going to hold up her transition. But there's a feeling like she doesn't want to let you go. And there's a feeling that she needs you to know that she is in appreciation, gratitude with you, for you. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
This is like, it's so important that you know that she knows that you care. Mom reads like she was a strong individual as well, yes?
Yes, she was.
And
She's very angelic.
Yeah.
We're always.
And so very strong in who she was, and her energy is just so connected to you. And I feel as if you pulled her through quite a bit in the past 6 months. Is that true, please?
What do you mean by pulled her through?
Like it was a rough 6 months for her. Yes, it was a struggle for her these past 6 months.
Yeah, the last 6. Yeah,
Yes.
it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of pain, a lot of.
And
stuff.
she held on. She held on, and you pulled her through that as she held on. Father has passed as well. Please, she's got someone standing with her. There's a man standing with her. Has Father passed, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay. Man stands with her there. And she shows me him that he's with her. Okay. So he stands next to her. So they are connected. They are together. And she just wants you to know that she's there and that she's okay. So I know you miss her, and we most certainly empathize, and we know that it's tragic when we lose them. Even if we think we know it's coming, you can never really be prepared. And she didn't want to let you go. But she also makes me feel like something isn't done or settled or figured out. Does this make sense to you?
Figured out. I guess in a way, but sometimes I feel like I just should let it go.
Well, I guess that's a personal choice, but she just makes me feel like something isn't done or in order. Something connected with something personal, connected to document, connected to something that isn't quite handled the way she wants or the way we talked about.
When she passed, since my sister was her caregiver, like when my dad passed, they figured it out to be, fair to all of us. But now, when my mom did it, wasn't nothing done, so I was left out in the cold.
Okay. So that's not what she wanted. I don't say that.
That's not what she's talking about then?
No, that's not what that is not what she wanted. Okay, she didn't want you out in the cold. And I don't say that to cause angst or distress. I'm just saying what I hear from her.
Yeah.
And this is what she's saying. Right. It wasn't all figured out. You see clearly. It wasn't figured out. It wasn't done right.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. So again, you have your truth. You live in your truth, and Elizabeth, you speak your mind. So you could let it go, but that would just eat you alive. And whether something comes of your words or not, well, I guess that's on everybody. But to speak your truth and say that, Mom wouldn't have wanted it that way is important. Because there's a sense of, and forgive me, it's just the vibration Spirit gives me, but I know this is your sister, but there's a sense of entitlement with your sister that is kind of baffling to me. And so I feel like something has not been considered in how you feel.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
But, I promised a long time ago I would keep the peace. That's what I'm doing, keeping the peace.
Well, you promised to keep the peace, but you also can speak your truth.
True.
Okay? Because you don't want to end up ill because of this.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I just want to know, do you see love for me?
I do.
You do?
I do. It's going to take a little time. I'm going to take, and I know you'd be like, well, Sarah, how much longer is it going to take? Because I've been waiting. I mean, I hear
Yeah,
it.
I've been waiting for 8 years now.
I understand. But, everything has a time and a cycle, and you are in this new cycle of energy. That's why I said it's like a whole new beginning, a new attitude. It's a new vibe for you. And
I feel it.
It's not because it's a new year, and it's unfortunate that your mom's passing is part of this new transition of vibe, but now she's at peace. It's something that you were worried about. She is with your father. There is this beautiful energy of love for you, and she didn't really want to let you go.
No, when I got there, it took her 10 days to let go.
Yeah.
I was there, and it took her 10 days to let go.
And that's the first thing she said. I didn't want to let her go.
Okay. Oh, that's what she said. I know. Yeah. Okay. I know she did.
And I don't know your story, didn't know you were there for 10 days. I just know that that's what she said to me. And so knowing that she is aware that you were there, and knowing now that she tried to stay in the breath of life for as long as she could before she passed, that was her way of showing you that she's here for you. And now receiving the confirmation so early in her passing that this is how she saw it, this is how she felt, and that she's with you, and that your dad is there too. This is your confirmation that she is all right. And now, my darling, it's your turn to live your life.
Okay. Well said. All right.
All right, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for listening to the show, following the show. Sorry for the loss of your mom, and embrace the new life that you're creating. Bye for now.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
God bless you.
God bless you. Bye. 888-565-1470. I just love when our loved ones from the other side pop in. Even before I took the call, she was right there pointing to her throat and letting me know that she was the mother. And so they're with us. And sometimes they just can't wait to let you know just how much they care. Well, we care for you all here on WHFS and on WWNN. We're getting ready to close out our first hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. But if you are watching us on Facebook and YouTube, don't go away. If you're on WHFS, then tune the channel to iHeart. Continue to follow us on WWNN, or go to sarahspiritual.com to watch the rest of the show, or your Facebook or YouTube page under Sarah Spiritual. We're so appreciative of all of you. For now, we're going to bid you farewell, Tampa. We will be back next week at 6 o'clock to talk to you and my friends in the wonderful South Florida area. Stay with us. We're going to join us for our second hour together. We're going to keep answering questions at 888-565-1470. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. That's me, Sarah Spiritual. We'll be right back.
That shines down upon me, and there's a light.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope. Phone lines are open at 1-888-565-1470. That's 1-888-565-1470.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program
up your heart and love that makes the world come alive. Do you believe in love? The kind that stands the test of time, the kind that opens up your mind and makes you realize who you are. Oh, do you believe in love? And make it something that you are. Do you believe that love conquers all? Are you ready for love? Do you believe in love? Love can move a mountain. Love can heal a heart. Love can make it happen, no matter what it is. Do you believe? Do you believe in love? The kind the stories tell. Do you believe? Do you believe in love? The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost a love for everyone. We have
Connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. Welcome back to the second hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions and to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in. 888-565-1470. 888-565-1470. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube. And you can share the love and light.
Yes, indeed. You're joining us for the second hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah right here on WWNN 1470 AM and 95.3 and 96.9. And we're answering your questions at 888-565-1470. And we're going to go back to our phone lines, and then we're going to pop over to our friends in Facebook land and our wonderful friends who are on our YouTube page. But before we do that, I've got to go to the phone lines, and I've got Caden, and Caden is in Kissimmee. Caden, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, Caden, and this is really a good time for you to work on stepping into earning more money, advancing yourself, and kind of putting yourself in motion for your work and career. Are you looking into what you're going to do for this career that you want to have next?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to call, because I've had this, I'm sorry, I don't even know where to start.
Well, let's start at the beginning. So you're at the precipice of making some changes. You want these changes to be most effective to keep you on your path. You're kind of someone who's kind of intense and unique, and you have your own vision. You have a vision of what you really want to accomplish that's near and dear to your heart, but I don't know that you're feeling that it's falling into place, and it's getting a little frustrating. Does that make sense?
That's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
I think.
Are you here, Kaden? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
No, go right ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, what you just said makes sense, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. What do you see I have big dreams, and I feel like I want to be this great person, and I don't know where to start.
Well, how about starting with acknowledging you already are a great person and you have your own unique gifts. And, I see a lot of music around you, too. Do you just absolutely love music, or is there a desire to do something with music?
My passion. That's always been my passion.
You know what I heard in my head as I was kind of looking at the energy around you? I heard this, I got the music in me. I got the music in me. Like, you've got this music, and this music is the beat and the rhythm of your soul. And how to articulate who you are comes through your musical expression and music energy. And that's what you need to decide. What arena, what area, what aspect of music can I see myself doing, being passionate, and will really articulate who I am. And please understand that the who you are now is not the who you will be, because you're going to grow, you're going to shift, you're going to change. But we have to start somewhere. So you want to go to school for something having to do with production, music, vocal coach, right? And the vocal coach prepared me for college. And then I had all these teachers that prepared me for what was to come